So tell me, Di, is it okay to summon a doll that's a consort?
Wait.
You heard me. Psychotic candy!
What?
It's candy with an eye, by the way. No, don't go with that man! Don't cuck me! Okay, anyways, yeah, so we're back. The second half of the Bount arc. Are you excited, Di?
Oh, you heard the claim the bounty?
Well, first it's time to admit where I colossally fucked up.
Yeah, you tend to do that.
That is not true. Well, last time mentioned that the Stephanie Shea Bount, whose name is Yoshi, by the way, she doesn't even have her own unique name when there's another Bount named Yoshino who had a much more interesting character arc. And Yoshino died like 10 episodes in.
Or you know someone who actually had an actual character?
Well, Yoshi's doll, Need Air. What a silly name. I said the male voice was Vic. I was so off. As a Vic stan, that hurts me so much. You don't know.
Well, you did it to yourself by assuming things.
Some sources claimed it was him, and I just went with it without double checking like I normally do.
Some people claim he's Bubsy in the PS4 games. You gonna believe them too?
That's a fair point, and this is why I normally double check everything. The one time I got lazy and it bit me in the ass. I guess I earned it. But yeah, the sword variant. I mean, I can understand with Bubsy in the PS4 version. It does kind of sound like him, I guess. The sword variant, though, is also Joe J. Thomas. For realsies this time. And now that we actually get to hear the sword say more than literally one line of dialogue, you can tell that, yes, it's the same as the old man Bount, Solitari. Sounds exactly like him. It's just last time he only had one line of dialogue, and they're like, I guess that could be Vic. I mean, I don't know, he needs to talk more. Maybe I should have waited to declare who that doll was voiced by till now, but oh well. But it's okay, Di, because we also found out who voiced Kane. You know, the Bount from Koga's backstory. Oh, I know,
you've been waiting for this.
Well, Kane, or Bount from Koga's backstory that kind of died, is voiced by... Yes, he's Peter Doyle, who's known for voicing Dominic on Eka 7, Prince Melvin in Duel Masters, or I know the ones you all want to hear, Bible Black the New Testament, Midnight Sleazy Train, and Iron Virgin. You're welcome. But yeah, so we know who voiced Kane now. I know you all are happy. But okay.
One person out there is happy.
Well, I guess now that we got that out of the way, we can actually get into this. Eps 92 to 109, the rest of the Bount arc, or the ass alt portion. So the Bounts just arrived, and our heroes showed up too, and they can't sense the Bounts because the mod souls are useless.
Except for Nova.
Yeah, except for Nova over there.
Also, Cone is here too for some reason.
Oh, but there's a great payoff to it. So... What?
No, but seriously, why did he come there too?
Oh, he said he wanted to kick ass and chew bubblegum. But...
Maybe he should have got his gi guy.
Dude, have you seen that lion? Fuck you up.
Yeah. Who was I kidding? You're right.
Yeah, so main characters arrive, and they hear talk of the Bounts being somewhere in the Rukon district, so they seek out Kukaku. Or Ganju's older sister, who when they arrive is getting the shit beaten out of him for getting distracted with his job as a convenience store clerk. And does he deserve it, Di?
I mean, it is Kanju, so yes.
I mean, fuck yeah, he does. And I guess now we should mention who her subordinates are voiced by, because I don't think they show up again, or if they do, they're barely here. The first one, Shiro Kanehiko, is Michael McConaughey. Again! The double casting never gets old. What's up?
Yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be the last we hear of...
Yeah. Well, the other one, Kogan Anahiko, if that is how you pronounce that, is voiced by Peter Spellos, and this is the only role he plays. If you're wondering who he also voiced, he was Skybite in the original Transformers cartoon, Sagat from the SF2V anime, and Zangief from the SF2 movie. Why did he play two different Street Fighter characters in two different iterations? That's silly.
Yeah. That Street Fighter silly.
You're silly. We gotta cover the Street Fighter 2V anime at some point. It's decent, from what I remember. Anyway, so they find out soon after that the Bounts are operating out of Kuzazushi, or somewhere dangerous. So they all split up to go working for them. Yep.
Or town.
So they split up to go search for the Bounts. Meanwhile, Rukia is set to return to her squad. And here is something that's really annoying because we didn't have enough mod soul stupidity. Lirin getting jealous and pissed at Ichigo for being concerned for Rukia? Is there not a better way to go about this, guys? So
yeah,
Lirin wanting to... What?
Killing off the mod souls would have been a better way to go about it.
Yeah, so Lirin runs off being angry because she's tsundere or something. I don't fucking know.
No, she's just an idiot. Don't let him confuse you.
You'll get an argument from me on this one. Ends up running into Rukia anyways while Rukia is about to fight Yoshi.
Oh man. So guys, you remember how they got their fight hijacked for them back
with Mabushi?
Yeah.
Yeah, but before that, couldn't Lirin have shown up here in a better way? This would have easily been fixed by one small tweak. How about, okay, Rukia, you're headed back to Soul Society. Take one of these mod souls with you as a bounce sensor. You're going to need it when you report to the Seirete. There, problem solved, the drama's avoided, and Lirin doesn't look like a complete asshole. Anyway, so go ahead and tell us, Dai, how's this Rukia Yoshi fight breakdown?
Okay, so, guys, what does Rukia not have as we established so far?
Her Zanpakuto.
No, she clearly has one. It was in that one. Oh, that was just some random Zanpakuto.
Yeah.
So, alright, let's give them 5 seconds. So, guys, how's this fight gonna end? I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. With Rukia killing her twice, you say?
Yeah,
no.
So Rukia manages to land some decent blows on Yoshi, and Lirin's there too, I guess, actually using her illusions to help and be useful, something she could have done at the start of this arc.
Well, once, then she forgets how to do them after the first time.
I guess they're trying to go for she used all of her keto energy or whatever, spiritual energy, but still, at least it's something. But yeah, you find out the Bounts can regenerate now by absorbing Reishi.
Because they are Quincy-like, I guess.
Yeah, so all their wounds are healed, even their clothing.
Yeah, so but the best kill is straight out of Clock Tower.
Oh yes. When Rukia is hiding to surprise attack Yoshi, Yoshi is no joke, lurking around looking for her like a fucking, like, Scissor Man from Clock Tower. It's hilarious.
And just like Scissor Man from Clock Tower, her mortal enemy is a sheet.
It's so dumb! Why is this fight even here? It does nothing but undermine the bounce.
Also, she gets a keto for good measure, and that kills her again.
And then she regens by absorbing Reishi. But yes, if they couldn't absorb Reishi to heal in the Soul Society, Yoshi would have died twice. Except not really, because you see, Yoshi, being on the losing end, decides to take a hostage. Yes, she must take a hostage in order to hold back Rukia, who has barely any powers at this point, and is exhausted from using full chant Kitos throughout this fight. Oh my god, this bounce sucks.
Oh, what's that, guys? Are you ready for the swerve? Did I say she only died 2 times? Well, that's only to Rukia, because the most satisfying part of this portion comes up next.
Yeah, Byakuya just flash steps out of nowhere like a boss, and then uses his Senbon Zakura on Yoshi, probably killing her a third time, and forcing her to retreat. Of course, Rukia is injured, and this effectively takes her out of the arc. Sure, but wasn't there a better way to do this without making the bounce look idiotic and asinine?
I mean, she essentially wasn't in the arc anyways. She doesn't even have her full power.
Well, I mean, Mabushi did possess her earlier.
Yeah,
and she was dangerous under possession.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You could have had her get one-shotted by Dalk and Koga over there, who, by the way, yes, do take on Marechio or Lex Lang and Tetsu Zaimon, 2 lieutenants, and of course it's Dalk, so they were fucked from the start.
Not that they were any threat anyways. I mean, one of them literally gets one-shotted by Ichigo using just his fists. He breaks through Lex Lang's fucking Chikai.
Yeah. So, either way though, killing or one-shotting 2 lieutenants or kicking their asses is still something that makes, like, okay, so we're trying to take the bounce seriously. But then you're like, oh, Yoshi's a fucking joke. Why are we intimidated by you guys again?
Yeah.
Whatever, so Cardia and the rest are at Kusazashi, or Yachiru's hometown, which is the 79th district of the Rukon place, where crime is high, and they start a bar fight?
Yeah.
It's really silly.
But then Jock shows up.
What's up?
But then Jock shows up.
Yeah!
I mean...
Yeah. He's there to recruit the lowlives and scum to turn them against Soul Society to ally with them. And one of them is Quentin Flynn doing his straight-up Jack the Ripper voice, or Raiden's Jack the Ripper voice from MGS.
And it's so dumb. It's the face.
It is. It's great. I mean, we kept making jokes saying it sounded like base form Goku Black from Xenoverse 2, for those who remember that voice that Sean Schemmel was doing for him, with how bad it sounded. It's hilarious. Weren't you even calling him Goku Black?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It's okay, Jock is in the room.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Cone gets lost and ends up being picked up by some random chick, and he's gone for the majority of the arc now. So fuck him. No one needs Cone right now, I guess.
At least he's not ruining scenes by being obnoxious. Man, the other mod cells need to take a cue from Nova and Cone.
Yeah. No, and Ichigo showed up to help Rukia because they sensed her spiritual pressure. Because, you know, they could sense Soul Reaper's pressure. It's just difficult to track down Bounce a lot of the time. So Ichigo and Mirin are reunited, and everyone's happy about it, right?
Why couldn't she be taken out of commission?
I don't know, but Byakuya waves his ego dick around by saying, "No, Ichigo Kurosaki, you're a substitute. Don't get involved in the bounce. 'Cause I've got an ego dick." Then I guess he might be a little mad that they kind of nearly killed his sister or something. I don't know.
No, that sounds silly.
Well, either way, Byakuya rushes ahead towards Kusazashi, while Orihime, Chad, and Uryu are with Ganju on his weird boars. And Ichigo, I guess, is just pursuing after Byakuya.
Yeah.
You might be wondering, what the hell happened with Ganju and them? Well, they got lost in the forest because Ganju's an idiot. On their way to Kusazashi.
Yeah, that sounds very Ganji-like. I knew he was in the bathroom.
He was in the bathroom the whole time. Damn it, Ganju. Yeah, just gotta love how Kukaku beat the hell out of him for just, sis, I had a job to do! But yeah, so Cardia tells Maki Ichinose, whoever the fuck, and Koga to rally the criminals that they've put on their side, while he goes off because he senses someone coming his way and he wants to have a one-on-one fuck. Spoilers, it's Byakuya. What?
But how's that a spoiler?
I don't know. But hey.
I mean, the reasoning for recruiting these people doesn't make sense because they're just normies. So Soul Society has to hold back on them and can't kill them and stuff.
Yeah, they can't use their full power on them. And they're building something, whatever the hell it is. I guess we'll find out soon.
Yeah.
So Byakuya and Cardia meet up, and Cardia's bragging, "Oh, Yoshi injured your sister. How's it feel? Huh?" Because I'm bragging that the weakest of us did something for once.
You mean like how they died 3 times? Not gonna brag about that part. Oh, wait,
do you ever think Yoshi's just sitting over... Do you ever think, like... I think I have a theory of how Yoshi got to join the Bounce. It's probably years ago. Master Cardia, yes, Koga. I've reached out to Yoshino, but instead, Yoshi showed up. Not you, Yoshi.
Wrong,
we didn't want
Yoshi.
The other.
Get back in your egg.
But yeah, so Byakuya and Cardia have an okay fight. It actually demonstrates that Cardia now is on par with Byakuya. Kind of. Because Byakuya, when he goes Bankai, is when Ichigo shows up. So we could have a threesome. And I meant what I said. Then, of course, Ichigo and Byakuya are doing, "Get in my way and I'll hurt you too." Yeah, well, I'll do that too, because... And we find out here Cardia's doll is the wind. Because that's how that works, I guess.
Apparently, getting a tattoo lets your doll be invisible.
Yup. And you can manipulate all air currents.
I made a contract with the wind.
And he's going on, "No one can pierce my ultimate wind barrier. The wind is so strong that it deflects all attacks," except not really, because Byakuya manages to land a blow on him. So...
And Ichigo...
I mean, you did point out the nice attention to detail, where, didn't you say they left the blood on his clothes after he regenerated?
The blood on his... cuts on his forehead. No, he regenerated his clothes, resetting them back to normal. Come on, man. Clothes are like skin, they can regenerate like that. Honestly, that just made it look. That would just made their regenerating kind of silly.
Well, it's okay, because Uryu shows up too, because he's Uryu, and he decided to break away from the boar people. Because Ganju was now with Chad and Orihime looking for the bull of Kusazushi, someone that could help them take on all the low-life criminals.
This goes nowhere.
Yeah, but to be honest, I actually appreciate the attempt at some world building here, because there is not enough focus on the Rukon district outside of these fillers. So it at least gives us something to show how the Soul Society works outside of the Seirei.
Well, that's because Soul Society is under attack again with no overtime pay. But
then, the Cardia, Ichigo, and Byakuya Fest is cucked by someone who looks exactly like Yoshino. Or the one who created the Bounts, Ron Tao.
That's a god.
Yeah, Ron Tao's a woman, which, when Cardia called them a man earlier, there's a few...
So you're sure they're assuming he clearly had no idea what they looked like, what they were? It's Cardia.
Writing as you go along syndrome, or it could be one of those weird dubisms. Which...
Where they used a they or something.
They had to come up with a defining gender, because for those who don't know, it's similar to the Soul Eater situation. When dubbing Soul Eater, the character Krona, he has no defining gender in the subversion, but in the dub they had to give him one, because saying it, probably after a while, didn't make much sense in some context. So they just settled on a he. It could have been the same thing here, since before Ron Tao's gender was revealed, they didn't know what gender to give them, so the dub just settled on one.
Or writing as you go syndrome, because this arc has had a lot of those issues.
Yeah, well though. So Ron Tao is voiced by Kirsten Potter, or Natsui from Naruto. I have no idea who the hell that is off the top of my head.
Because there's like 50,000 Naruto characters.
Takashi from Daphne and the Brilliant Blue, or Rina from the old dub of Higu. That's short for Higurashi for those who aren't in the know for some reason. And
but what did he want them to know?
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, so Cardia, for the first time ever, gets angry. Because he was trying to be the whole, I'm cool and reserved, because I'm Cardia. Bitch, I got fangirls. Don't look at me like that.
But with my hairstyle, I probably should have just been voiced by Steve instead, because I got that Wolverine hair.
Well, wow. You know you're not wrong. Fucking Cardia.
And he can regenerate. More of the reason.
Yeah, so Ron Tao uses a smoke bomb and they get away. While Cardia also runs using the wind, because, he's like, oh, there's too many people here. I need to retreat for now.
He can fly, so can the Soul Eaters.
Soul Eaters?
I mean, Soul Reavers. Soul Reavers now. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ichigo's like, aren't you going to go after him, Byakuya? And Byakuya's like, he's gotten away. There'll be next time, though. It's cool. Aww. So then, Byakuya fucks off while Ichigo, who's injured, and Uryu, and Lirin, everyone's favorite mod soul, go to Ron Tao's home to get some exposition on the Bounts and how they were created. And Ichigo going, what? The Bounts were a mutation? Something they've told us like 5 times already?
But except this time it's slightly different than what we told you before, because...
No, yes. they explained that the whole experiment was infected the soul pool for the rebirth process. So some humans that were in the rebirthing phase...
Well, at the beginning they were saying they were an offset of Quincy's, hence why they could absorb Reishi. They seem to have dropped that at this point.
Well, whatever. Still could be worse, I suppose. Oh, and you also find out that the reason Yoshino looks so much like Ron Tao is because the original Bounts were made in the creator's images. So does that mean Cardia was made to look like one of them too?
Well, another thing that's confusing is we'll get later in Backflashes is Cardia was small child.
Yeah, so the Bounts can mature, but I thought they live forever.
Yeah, when you do something like that, it just makes it confusing.
Well, oh well.
Also, as it also establishes, his white hair is fake. Or from his doll, I guess.
Huh. Well, sure.
That's right, guys. Getting a tattoo will turn you albino. Don't be a cardio.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it, man. I knew it the whole time. Albinos are taking over. Or something, I guess. Also, don't you love how Ron Tao mid-conversation goes, I exerted myself too much because I lost my Soul Reaper powers, so I must sleep now for 12 hours. You will hear more exposition later. Lol.
Pretty much. Also, it makes it confusing because they're making her wear a big white coat. So, from distant shots, she could look like a fucking captain.
Yeah, I thought that too, actually. Although she was the scientist before research and development was even formed, because it was over 1,000 years back. And she apparently experimented on herself to keep herself younger, so she could be there for inevitably when the Bounce returned. Yeah, Central 46 were kind of dicks. Ron Tao gathered all the Bounts together because they were ostracized in the human world for their powers, saying Soul Society would help them. Just for Central 46 to be like, they upset the balance of souls, we must kill them. Is anyone sad Aizen murked all the Central 46?
I'm sure everybody misses them.
So, yeah, and because Ron Tao was a Bount sympathizer, they stripped her of her Soul Reaper abilities and sent her into exile. I'm surprised they didn't just execute her, to be honest.
Are you expecting Soul Society to make sense?
I guess that's true.
What are you, an idiot?
Yeah, you gotta love how the Seirei is like, we made the Bounce, so it's technically our fuck up, but rather than acknowledging it, we're just gonna crate it up and pretend it doesn't exist and kill it.
Let's have the Quincy's get involved and have them kill them for us.
Yep. So, Ron Tao was able to save some of the Bounts by helping them escape before she was captured. Hence why we have Cardia and Koga in them. Which young Cardia is voiced by Wendy Lee. Bet you guys aren't tired of hearing her voice someone yet.
No. Who would have thought? It's crazy.
And I know someone's going to point out, but you don't even see this whole plot thread of young Cardia and that stuff till later. We might as well get it out of the way now.
Might as well get the exposition out of the way.
But yeah,
because
so
it might as well be the same scene. It literally interrupts a fight just for this flashback.
Well, anyway, back to the Soul Reaper stuff. So, Kenpachi is going out of the Seirei because he wants to track down Maki.
How unfortunate for Maki.
Speaking of Maki and the Bounce, apparently the criminals finished building whatever the hell it is they're building, so Cardia tells Maki...
It was some wooden thing to lift the door.
Yeah, that's basically all it was. Well, Hitsugaya, who's leading the task force with Rangiku, Renji, and I guess Ichigo now, found out where the Bounts were and showed up there, while Koga, Karia, and the rest of the Bounts say, you know what, Maki, you stay behind and do this. You're being useless now, I guess. So, fuck it.
Being useless? That's his entire existence!
And of course, Maki is all like, the royal penis is clean, your highness. Yes, sir, Master Karia.
Yeah, that sounds like that checks out.
You gotta love how Hitsugaya and Maki clash swords, and Hitsugaya's like, why are you fighting on the Bount side if you have this much skill? I don't understand. And then Maki goes on a spiel about justice? I don't think he ever mentioned this before now. I could be wrong. I don't think he did.
He kinda has, but you probably just ignored it because it's fucking Maki. If it was Tosin saying it, then maybe.
Yeah. I mean, Maki does use his Zanpakuto here to make everything completely white, so Hitsugaya and friends are delirious and end up attacking each other. A unique Zanpakuto ability that could be cool if given to the right person, along with a cool backstory and motivation.
Unfortunately, it was given to Maki.
Then Kenpachi shows up and says, bitch please, and basically knocks Maki's Zanpakuto ability away like it's nothing, freeing everyone from their state of delirium. And yeah, Kenpachi gives Maki an ultimatum, saying, you can settle your vendetta with me, or you can hold them back like Karia ordered, and I won't get involved. What are you gonna do? And Maki demonstrates his first choice of independence by choosing to fight Kenpachi instead.
It was a mistake.
While Hitsugaya and the rest of them rush back to the Seirei to help out. And yeah, Kenpachi and Maki's fight honestly is decent, and a lot of people consider it a highlight of the arc. It's just too bad Maki was annoying up until now. But hey,
he was still even annoying during the fight. He's like, yeah, I defeated Kenpachi, totally. I'm gonna walk away now while my attack finishes up.
I think he was in denial and knew if he stuck around. So his Shikai has no effect on Kenpachi. Kenpachi's like, I knew it, you haven't changed at all, you're still a bitch. But that's when Maki reveals he has a Bankai. And, okay, what the hell does this Bankai do, Dai? Go for it.
I
mean, it made him a lot stronger, because he was able to keep up with Kenpachi for a bit. Is that it? Was it just a power buff?
Yeah, it's essentially still his same thing.
Yeah, and he does his ultimate move on Kenpachi, which apparently breaks down spiritual pressure by using light to condense it down into and erase all shadow.
Pretty much exactly the opposite of Toast.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
So, he basically trapped Kenpachi in a realm of light! And was gonna have him crushed by the light beam.
As opposed to the realm of darkness that Tosin put him in.
Well,
that's what I mean.
I love how Maki is walking by Yachida, and Yachida's like, Kenny won't lose to you, and he says, he is dead. If you get in my way, I will kill you too. It's like, you're really trying to convince yourself, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously Kenpachi breaks out of it, but he does make the comment saying, I had to go all out, even if it was for a couple of seconds there. I should congratulate you.
Though he said a second.
Hey, at least it's something.
He just should take his eye patch off for a moment, no big deal. Had to make Maki feel good about himself before cutting him down.
Yeah, so Kenpachi gives the speech to Maki about how if he really gave a shit about what Cardia wanted, like he was saying this whole time, then he would have ignored his personal vendetta and taken on Hitsugai and friends earlier, and that there's a difference between loyalty and just being someone's beta bitch.
And that's most definitely what Maki is.
Yeah, see, the perfect example is Koga is loyal to Cardia. He's not a beta bitch, though. He simply is, you know, a vow he wants to repay.
Have you seen him?
Yeah. Whereas Maki, no, Maki's a beta. Though he does apologize, saying, "I'm sorry, Master Cardia, this is something I must do. I won't be there with the rest of you guys." And gives one final charge to Kenpachi. And again, damn it, Maki, why'd you have to be annoying? Because it's actually a really solid moment in a completed character arc that had a beginning, middle, and end. By the end of it, he learned not to be a bitch, and actually the difference between loyalty and, well, just sucking on someone's D.
Or did he?
Yeah, so Kenpachi stabs him and says, "I gave it all I had, Yachiru, I'm sorry."
Yeah, she totally did. He totally didn't hold back or anything.
Well, now we're back to Soul Society, or the Seirete, where the Bounts have arrived, and we find out there were 2 cast changes at around the same time. First, Kim Strauss is no longer Kumamura, the doggy. Now it's JB Blanc. And I mean, I guess he does... And I guess he does an okay job sounding like him. I mean, it's been long enough to where if you're not marathoning it, you probably won't even notice the cast change. Since, when was Kumamura's last appearance? Like, 25 episodes back or something?
Yeah, sounds about right.
And also the Gatekeeper Giant, Jidambo, is now JB Blanc. Again. And also, if memory serves, this is the last appearance of Jidambo.
So Jumbo gets killed by the Bount. Then that's a certified fact.
Yeah, Jidambo has the unfortunate mishap of taking on Koga and Dalk. You don't fuck with Koga and Dalk if has this arc not taught them anything.
Well, not everyone can be Izuru.
And the criminals use their magical lifting device to lift up the gate, because the Seirete shuts out all Reishi, something that was explained a while back. So, since the Bount's main thing is Reishi, they couldn't force the gate open themselves.
So they needed a makeshift forklift, or...
Yeah.
Thing?
Created by the normies that don't really have Reishi.
Yeah. The normies that only have Jack.
Yeah, so, to be honest, I mean, it makes sense and it fits in with continuity. I'll give you this plan, Cardia. It works and has thematical things behind it, I guess. But then, of course, Cardia's like, well, you guys can go now. I know we promised you freedom from the Seirete and get back at them, but that was all bullshit.
I'm Cardia. Being an asshole's my thing. Nice to meet you.
If you guys don't get out of here, you will die. And, of course, they don't listen, like, oh, let's charge Cardia together, and he uses the wind. Thus, Konku Black is dead. We should mention earlier that Ganju did find the Bowl of Kusazashi, and he did help track down a lot of the criminals, but again, this plot thread is kind of a nothing.
Nowhere.
Yeah. And no, the Bowl of Kusazashi, that's not his real name. He even says he just named himself that because it's cool. And him and Ganju are besties, so makes sense.
What, Ganju's besties with Uryu?
Wait, was it Derek Stephen Prince that voiced them? I mean, it sounded like him, but I'm not claiming anything definitively after last time.
It sounded like him, You didn't even look him up, which means he's not even that relevant to bother.
He's not, and I don't even think he's listed with how much of a minor character he is.
Didn't you say Ganju fucks off after this arc anyways?
Kind of? Like,
Oh,
we'll
he only
see.
shows up in future filler, does he?
For the most part, I believe so. At least it gave him something to do this arc.
Like riding hogs.
So yeah, Hitsugai and friends run into the Seirete while Orihime stays behind to heal Jidambo, who I'm going to assume died from his injury soon after being healed because he is never seen again. And then watch, I'm going to be wrong, he's going to show up in the first episode of the next session.
Also, the thing we established here is there are 2 Gate Guardians.
Wait, did the other one even do anything?
Well, he probably got mind controlled by a doll.
Yeah,
Because I'm not giving Yoshi any credit for anything.
Yeah,
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Orihime stays behind while the rest rush in, and you're going to wonder the same thing we are. Why the hell is Chad here? I'm not even being funny. He does nothing this half of the arc. Orihime is at least doing white mage stuff in the background. Chad is running with Nova around the Seirete. Kuroto is with Renji. And Ichigo is with Lirin.
Unfortunate. I mean, Chad fights mind-controlled Soul Reapers.
Yep, we're on the Mabushi portion. Mabushi, who can now make 10,000 Ritsas, pizza things, whatever the fuck. Yeah, they still get inconsistent with this, even to the latest episode. Which is weird, because weren't they consistently... he was consistently calling her Ritse for the first time he used her this half. Yeah. And then the following episode goes back to alternating.
Yes. That is all.
But he controls the entire stealth force, or Soifon's squad. Meaning Soifon's gonna have something to do now. And uses Obito, one of those weird doll things from before that eats souls, to poison her.
Because they can do that now.
Well, he did explain that if you leave a soul inside Obito for long periods of time, the soul decays.
And he was already too drunk. He didn't want to pass out.
Yeah, so that's what they infected her with.
She infected with the T-virus.
And, yeah, the possessed Soul Reapers are fought by Chad, Renji, everybody.
You, me...
Yes, you. You too can fight a possessed Soul Reaper, possessed by a pizza. But hey, Soifon and Mabushi get a cool fist fight, and she even stings him like a bee.
Yeah. She shows him what the buzz is about.
But of course he runs off thinking, you're poison. All I have to do is hide away from you. And you'll just die anyways. Except when the pizza stop responding and he realizes, I need a strong pizza in order to compete with people.
Yeah, in short, he gets impatient.
Yep. So, Soifon...
Like most drunks. Anyways.
So Soifon ends up, not having a cure for this poison, since it's brand new, and does the thing of neutralizing poison with her own poison from her bee stinger, Zanpakuto thingy. Which, I guess, does work. Chase the poison out with poison you're immune to.
Neutralize poison with stronger poison.
Basically. And... yeah... Mabushi goes in for the kill to possess her, saying, I need a captain. And of course it doesn't go very well, because she was playing possum the whole time.
Awesome possum.
Your favorite game, man. Wonder how many people are going to want to shank you for that one. Although,
Yes.
here's the thing that doesn't work here on retrospect with the pizza. Okay, so Mabushi claims that the only way to get the pizza out of the body is to kill the host, right? Or Hime's magic powers of friendship. So he wanted to possess. He wanted to possess Soyphone, but Soyphone was poisoned, and he kept going on. The poison will kill you soon. Then you'll be mine. How are you going to possess a corpse? You already established you couldn't do that, dude. We could chop it up to just him being drunk, I guess.
Yeah, drunk on his own pizza.
Oh, and by the way, he dies because he loses control of the pizza because he's too injured, and the pizzas eat him or something. I don't know. Actually, yeah, did they eat him?
No.
What the hell did they do to him?
He was dying, and they were attacking him as much as those small things can.
And even in his death cries, he was alternating between Ritse and Ritsa, meaning we'll never know the doll's real name. And for those who are wondering, is this the last time we'll hear Keith in this dub? No, don't worry. Keith will be back later.
No, the real answer is, what are you, fucking high? Of course he'll be back.
Though this is the last you'll hear of Sandy Fox in this dub, and I don't get why. You have so many people who are like quadruple plus casted, yet you get newer people in and they only voice one person. Anyway, Mabushi's dead, and I love how Yoshi, when it pans over to her, is, Mabushi's dead, huh? Well, I always knew he was weak.
Just die already, Yoshi.
Ah! But next up is Sawatari, the old man, who I thought was Vic last time, because I'm an idiot.
You are.
Hey, I'll own up when I fuck up. But it's alright.
Why don't you put the next episode preview?
So, Sawatari gets to fight Mayuri, and according to Ichigo in the next episode preview, you get a giant whale versus a giant baby in a kaiju battle for epic proportions.
Now that about sums that up. But tell me, what's the arm counter looking like?
Yep, Mayuri loses his arm twice during this fight.
Again.
Again. Oh, and I guess you find out that Maki Ichino's save was the one being lead hacksaw into the Soul Society and planting computer viruses there? Excuse me?
What is this DMC squared all of a sudden?
You're asking me to buy a lot here, filler arc, alright? You want me to believe Maki's a traitor and feeding leaked intel, fine. But now you're gonna tell me he created a computer virus that even stumped Mayuri for a time.
Go home, writers, you're drunk.
Anyway, Mayuri wants vengeance on... Yeah, Mayuri wants vengeance on the Bounts to experiment on them because he realized he was manipulated because they purposely put the file in there on the Bounts to make him curious. So he would reach out to restore Uryu's powers, so then Uryu would help the Bounts get into the Soul Society. You know?
This just sounds really dumb.
It sounds convoluted as shit, but it does work in a sense because, I mean, you know Mayuri. He does seem very easily manipulative, or manipulated.
And as we'll find out later, this plan is so Bleach.
Yeah, so... just wave something in front of Mayuri's face that's like, hey, you want to experiment on this? I know you do. And he'll fall for it. So it does. I'll give it a pass. It works, even if it is a little convoluted. But yeah. So Mayuri and Sawatari have a fuck.
And they were having a whale of a good time.
Yup. And no, not the whales working at Funimation. I told you that already. It's a different whale.
We're not talking about that. That's you.
Well, at least you get to see Mayuri do Bankai. And Sawatari, because he's not Yoshi, actually does manage to land a few good blows in on Mayuri and do some damage to him.
Mostly his arm. Twice.
Although that was kind of a cool touch when Mayuri used his Shikai on him to paralyze his whole body, and they kept it where even though he absorbs Reishi, it didn't prevent the poison from paralyzing him still. So he couldn't move, only the whale could.
I mean, it kind of rendered it semi-pointless when he's always usually riding on top of the whale.
Yeah. You also find out during this fight that Sawatari was waiting for the perfect chance to betray Cardia because he felt he was the one most worthy to lead the Bounts. Yeah. That he absorbed thousands upon thousands of souls for strength, and aged himself knowing full well that it would make him stronger in the hopes of beating Cardia one day. Hey, look, at least it's motivation, it's something. Because you guys are about to find out in the next fight, Yoshi has nothing. So, yeah. Mayuri gives up on trying to experiment on Sawatari because, you know, the whale of a time is too much for him.
Yeah.
And his Bankai poison ends up killing him. Though I'm not gonna lie, it did make it silly when he was like, please, help me! Oh no! And then he died.
No! Wait!
I don't know, man. I just think Joe Thomas could have probably done a little better with his death cries, I'm just saying, because they came across a lot of the time as silly.
A lot of the stuff in this arc came across as silly. Talk about the arc that has those mod souls. Unfortunately.
Yeah, so, before we get to the next fight, which is Uryu versus Yoshi, by the way, yes, the rest of the Bounts actually get captain fights. Yoshi doesn't. She gets Uryu, who's using an unstable Quincy tool that Rontal had explained earlier, is very difficult to control, and could short out at any time.
Also fight air quotes.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Well, the Bounce split up earlier, so Cardia could search for what's known as the Jokai Crest, the original crest of all the Bounce. And, yeah, the rest of the Bounce were just used to create distractions, so he could go to the research and development and find it.
Dude, just makes you question, what was that the Get Dolls, the Bounce was from contracts in this book plot point about then?
Well, it said some dolls are formed with contracts, others are manifested through other means, such as a medallion or a crest. It seems to vary from doll to doll, which the Zanpakutos kind of work from Zanpakuto to Zanpakuto 2.
How was Babby formed? As a Bount, I guess.
Well, you can tell Koga is starting to have his doubts about Cardia and questioning the moves he's making, because even he's like, what the hell are we doing here? What is the end game here?
It's totally Cardia.
But it's okay, because Yoshi and Uryu are having a fight, but the fight is so important that we constantly cut away from it for other Soul Society stuff, like Shunsui and Ukitake searching through notes in the hidden library to discover more about the Bounce.
Yeah. Yes, a plot point so important that...
And Yamamoto actually telling everyone to take the Bounce seriously? Yeah, he's actually doing his job for once.
Who are you, and what have you done with the real Yamamoto? Oh, that checks out. Never mind.
Well, Ichigo catches up with Cardia, and they have a bit of a fuck in the middle of the research room, while Ichigo uses his Bankai on him. And their fight reveals the Jokai crest, so they just stop fighting while Cardia takes it into him.
But first he takes his shirt off.
Yeah, he strips for all the fangirls, and I guess fanboys if you're into that in the audience. I mean, it is Troy Baker after all.
It just makes it confusing later when he just has his clothing back. I guess you could just materialize it. He too has the clothing beam.
Well, I mean, his clothing regenerated before, so we'll let it slide. It's anime stupidity at its finest, and we'll go with it. Well, he tells them that they have one day, and one day he will detonate the Jokai crest and destroy the Seirete. And now he's all powerful, because the Jokai crest strengthened his ability to make him Super Cardia.
But did it really?
We'll get back to that. Because now it's time for Uryu and Yoshi again after it was cut away like 6 times. And they dragged this fight on for 2 episodes because Yoshi's worth it, I guess.
No, she's not.
And Uryu makes a comment saying, I'm not after you, Bount, as something as petty as revenge for killing my ship. I just want to stop the meaningless fighting because it's kind of silly now. And Yoshi goes on about how all fights are meaningless. In fact, she only came to the Seirete for fun. What a character.
Anyway, she gets shot once with an arrow and dies. Moving on.
Yeah, so she can fuse with her dolls, I think? Yeah, fine, we'll explain her powers, kind of. Why not? And we'll never have to talk about this stupid character again.
One lets her enter a defensive mode, and the other lets her enter an attack mode.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the dolls kept criticizing her, saying she's an idiot. And when she was laughing at Uryu and the dolls were laughing with her, I like to think that the dolls were actually laughing at Yoshi, thinking to themselves, our owner is such an idiot. That's my headcanon. So yeah, when she's
headcanon, it's a fact.
When she's transitioning from sword to fan mode, she leaves herself open, and Uryu just takes one shot and kills her. That's it.
One arrow kills her.
Yep. And he even admits he was using that fight as a test to try controlling the Quincy tool because he wants to take on Cardia. So yes.
Not even a real fight, guys.
We memed last time that Maki was an annoying character, but in retrospect, Maki might as well be Shakespearean writing compared to Yoshi and how she was handled. This character could have been dropped from this arc and very little would change.
And by very little, absolutely nothing?
Yeah, let's take her out of the arc and see what happens. You would just have Rukia and Orihime and Kuroto fighting Mabushi. You would have... That Clock Tower episode would be dropped, but it doesn't affect anything anyways. All it shows is that Byakuya is here. And you could have Rukia get injured some other way, just say Koga.
Well, Rukia wasn't going to be part of the fighting anyways, and she's not at full power. She wasn't even looking for a fight back in the human world.
I mean, I'd say she was looking for a fight, man. She did show up to fight the Bounts. But
no, one of her asshole teleported her into the human world. Teleported her right into the middle of a fight between fucking Ichigo and Balra. And Yoshi.
No, not Balra, Goethe. Yeah, it was Ichigo and Goethe. Goethe!
And Yoshino.
Yeah, and Yoshino. Well, I think she just went to the World of the Living and just went straight there because she sensed Ichigo's spiritual pressure. But anyways, yeah, and you could just have Uryu training to master his abilities off screen, or even like just show him a scene of him trying to master and be like, I'm ready now to take on Cardia. He didn't even have to have a fight. You could cut Yoshi from this entire arc and nothing would change. If anything, it would probably improve the pacing because you could drop a few episodes.
Yeah,
anyway,
and those mod souls, and the arc will be even better.
Oh yeah, so the mod souls, because the Bounts keep using their dolls and then desummoning them, their Reishi appears then disappears. So you get Lyrian and Kuroto, mostly Kuroto this time, because he hasn't been annoying as much this arc yet. Going on and whining that he can't find them, whereas Chad and Nova's like, I sensed them. Really, where are they? It's gone now. I sensed them. Really, where are they? They're gone now.
And thus ends the Chad and Nova's portion of this arc.
Yep. Oh, and also, I guess it's time we check in on Cone and see what happened with him. So he left his waifu behind, and one of the previews has an amazing follow-up to this with Izuru and Cone.
Yeah.
So Cone says, I just left from my sweetheart's home, and Izuru says, wait, you mean the one that runs the tea shop? How do you know about her, you sicko? Well, I hate to tell you this, but your she is actually a he. What? So, yeah.
He's a guy.
So, Cone fell for a trap. It happens to all of us, I understand, Cone.
Mostly just you.
I understand, Cone, and you quiet. We're not talking about ReZero right now, are we?
Who said anything about ReZero?
As I was saying, time for another highlight of the arc, the Koga Hitsugaya episode. So Koga gets into a spat with Cardia because he finds out Cardia wants to kill everyone. And during this whole time, Koga's been very careful not to kill any Soul Reapers he came across, just injure them or knock them out. Because as we established earlier, Koga hates killing young people.
Yeah. Koga, you're too good for this arc.
So, Cardia ends up knocking Koga out when Koga challenges him, saying, no, you're not born up to Seirete. People who had nothing to do with our vendetta will die. I thought the point was to make the Soul Society bow to us for their mistakes.
Bountiful?
Yeah, bow to us for their mistakes. And I don't know why Koga challenged Cardia without using Dog. I don't know why he thought that would be a good idea.
But he gets a cut in the gut, but he's about, so it's a minor inconvenience.
Yeah, and Cardia goes to Sokyoku Hill, where Rukia was being held before Byakuya and Ichigo's fight. Because symbolism or something. Anyway.
We were too lazy to animate the city for his fight.
So, Koga wakes up sometime later and is on a mission to stop Cardia. But to do that, he has to get through Squad 10. Where some poor innocent Soul Reaper is trying to apprehend him. Just so happened to get hit by Dalk.
They talk about balls to the walls.
They never really recovered after that day.
Well, they are just red shirts. You could even say they're dead, and nothing would change, really.
Yeah, and apparently Koga tried hiding in the sewers, but he didn't dispel Dalk for some reason. So Hitsugaya was still able to use Kuroto to find him. Oh yeah, Kuroto's not with Renji anymore, because Rangiku stole him.
Renji has been saved. I'm sure he's jumping for joy right now. You could even tell that Hitsugaya probably wanted to kill Kuroto.
Oh yeah, Hitsugaya, when Rangiku's like, oh, you're gonna carry Kuroto? Oh, Captain, you carrying a stuffed animal. And then he goes, oh, I'm not going to carry him. You are. She seems so disappointed. Now, was she disappointed because she didn't get to see Hitsugaya carry him, or because she realized now she was stuck with Kuroto?
The answer is yes.
Well, Koga knocks out all the red shirts. Hitsugaya tells Rangiku to stay behind because he wants to have a one-on-one fuck with Koga. And yeah, this is another one where Dalk mainly loses due to bad matchup.
And Dolk really loses.
Yeah, she can't reassemble herself or do a lot of her attacks because of the ice. So Dolk gets killed, except not really, because her body turns into a battle axe?
Well, because he uses the core as a handle to a battle axe, I guess.
And he puts all of his spiritual pressure into it, so Hitsuga's like, oh, you're gonna go all out? Alright, I'll do it too. Let me use my Bankai.
It was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. And after he deals the finishing blow to Koga, air quotes finishing blow,
We'll get to that.
he asks Koga, what were you trying to achieve? And Koga said, I wanted a future without wars.
What are you doing in this arc, Koga?
Koga, unfortunately, if he just went a different route, could have caught up to Cardia, because his whole thing is he wanted to catch up to him and stop him. I think he could have talked to Hitsugaya and said, I'm on your side now, man. But I guess he had that whole thing of, I want to stop him on my own, he's my problem.
He's a stubborn old man, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, we're at this point. Okay, so Uryu and Ron-Tao are there with Cardia now, by themselves. And this is where we get the exposition we were talking about, where Ron-Tao knew Cardia. She was the one that gave him the medallion that basically gave him his doll.
Yeah.
And she saved him, and we find out Cardia was a lot younger, and that doesn't make any sense. How does this work? What, is it when they hit,
this is another flashback they showed multiple times. You see, on that day, Soul Society, the explosion happened, and Bounts were born, and then they showed images of fucking babies. So, it's even more confusing.
Yeah, because it says the cycle of rebirth. So what is it? When they hit, like, if they just explain when they hit pubescence, they stop aging, or something.
But no.
Because the Bounts are all different ages. We know what happened to Solitari. He absorbed 1 million souls, so it aged him. Yeah. But then you have Koga, who, what, is in his, like, 40s?
Yeah.
And then you have Cardia and Goshi, who are probably in, like, their mid to late 20s. So how does this work?
Yes.
Maybe if they explained when they're older, their Bount powers awaken at a certain age and that it's random for each Bount? If they said that, it'd be like, okay, sure.
If that was the case, then that child they show with the fucking rock golem would still be a child Bount.
Yeah, and then you have Bon and Ho.
Actually, no, that doesn't work at all.
Yeah, but then you have Bon and Ho, the twins, that use the water doll.
Yeah.
Because they were clearly really young, too.
Because Cardia gets his doll as a child.
Yeah, from Ron-Tao.
Yeah, and he activates it as a child.
Yeah, they could have explained this a little better, but whatever. But yeah, so the preview for this point, though, has Ikkaku and Yumichika bragging about how they're going to find a Bount. And Ikkaku is Sam Riegel for these couple of episodes. Why?
I mean, isn't the preview, it's less noticeable than the next episode?
Yeah, the episode where Ikkaku actually talks.
He's trying.
It does not work. And yes, I'm going to say it now. If this is who they're thinking of going, yes, this will be Ikkaku in the final season. No, please. Look, I can have hope they'll get Vic back, especially if it's Tony Oliver ADR directing. I mean, he kept him as Rohan and JoJo. Anyway, so yeah, Sam Riegel's trying, but it's not a good matchup. He can't do the gruff voice very well.
It's like not... It's only it's semi-noticeable in the preview since she's only saying like a few lines. I the previews, and and that's when most people turn off full attention mode.
Well, Rontal, though, with her fight with Cardia, yes, it's a fight, has a gun. Because she can't use his Zanpakuto anymore, but she learned how to manifest some of her spiritual pressure to use tools and stuff. Which...
She just... a keto gun.
Stuff like this was kind of cool that that a character could use more of his tools like this. What is it, the closest we get is Udi with his Quincy tools?
Yeah, but his Quincy tools are based off his Quincy abilities anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, Uryu shows up and tries fighting Cardia, and of course, because it's not the climax yet, this goes about as well as you'd expect.
Also, I laughed with the cliffhanger with the to be continued logo with the gun in the air.
Shut up.
It was like really. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about what the credits do for 3 episodes in particular.
Okay, go for it, I guess, before we get to this, because we're almost to the end.
Yeah. You probably forgot, or... You know... Yukiora... Grimjow...
Oh! Yeah, so... I don't remember them doing this in the Adult Swim versions. This is something Viz started doing with the releases, I think, within the last several years. Where they'll put the random character images at the end of the OPs.
Well, you know, what replays, like, 10 seconds of the OP.
I'm pretty sure it does this in the Japanese version, too. But it shows panels of characters that haven't shown up yet. Again, Ukiura and Greenjow.
It pretty much is just a screenshot from the anime, from the looks of it.
Yeah, Greenjow and Ukiura, for those who haven't gotten there yet, are very important in the following arc. So, I guess it's not really spoiling much, but it should have focused on the characters of this arc instead.
Yeah, because it was just a different character each time. Like the very next one, and then the third one was Aizen and his new
attire,
parents. And that one's not as big as the other two.
Yeah, so
it's still kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. We'll see what happens in the next episodes, though. Maybe there'll be more spoilers ahead with characters that haven't shown up yet.
Spoiler alert, those two characters are really popular if you didn't know at all.
Yeah, so Rontal, though, back to the fight, ends up stabbing Cardia with love. And, yeah, she ends up losing control of the spiritual pressure she was using or something, so Uryu has to use what little energy he has left from his Quincy tool to save her life.
Yeah, and he does get some shots in on Cardia during the fight, but can regenerate for now.
Yeah, you find out Rontal's stabbing of him makes it so he can't absorb Reishi anymore. And
so you mean the fight wasn't pointless?
Yeah, like Yoshi's over there. And of course, while she's holding him with him stabbed, she's like, "Take the shot, Uryu," and Uryu's like, "I can't! You resemble my first love!"
Is this a Ryu's thing, getting fellowships?
Yeah. So... yeah, I mean, gotta give Kirsten Potter credit here. When the spiritual pressure's going haywire, she does do a decent job screaming a lot. Yeah. I feel you have to be used to screaming a hell of a lot in order to be in a shonen anime.
Yeah. Honestly, you get the impression if you would have fired it at Cardia instead of the sky, you probably could have done some good damage to him. Yeah. If not kill him.
But it's alright. So Uryu can't fight anymore.
But he landed some good blows because he was done with his warm-up. God, what a joke Yoshi is.
Yep. And now Ichigo's here to save the day. And I guess Yoruichi's here too with Byakuya, and they're gonna wait for Cardia to activate the Jokai Crest mid-fight in order to stop him if he does activate it. Because you find out from Shunsui Ukitake and Rontal informs everyone that there are multiple Jokai Crests throughout the Seirete, and when Cardia detonates one, it'll set a chain reaction. Kind of like those dicks that spam proximity mines in GoldenEye back in the day.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Was it really necessary to cover the whole level with them die? I couldn't spawn, you fuck! Anyway, so, yeah.
Just a person capping with a laptop gun.
I miss Perfect Dark. But yeah, so Ichigo's here. Oh, and Maki shows back up too mid-fight, because he's not dead yet, because Kenpachi held back. I guess he's not as much of a dick as everyone thought, huh? I mean, Maki was still part of his squad at one point.
Yeah. It just makes you wonder, how much of a tool was the previous captain?
Yeah, so Maki basically says to Cardia, the reason I followed you is because I thought you embody my captain's ideals, but if you're planning on killing everyone, that's no good. And
Shame.
Says he will be loyal to Cardia, but this is going too far, that he's got to stand against him if he doesn't stop now. So yes, again, Maki had a completed character arc. It's just... he's a fucking tool. You can't take him
seriously since he's a Maki.
Like, damn it, Maki. He had the potential to be as well handled as Koga if they just toned him a little down. Toned him down just a bit.
Okay, maybe a lot more than a bit, but yes.
Well, of course, it doesn't go very well, and Cardia kills him.
He gets the wind blown out of him.
Yep. And Byakuya and Yoruichi are standing there, watching this fight on, while Rukia arrives to be a cheerleader. And Orihime too.
Why? Aww.
Because we need the cheerleader squad for Ichigo. Because he has to have a one-on-one fight. Because he needs to settle this on his own, and this, honestly, is something that could have worked if built upon more. Them claiming Ichigo and Cardia are relatable to each other because both of them were humans that had bullshit thrust upon them by Soul Society. Both seeked power to protect those close to them, or in Cardia's case, he started that way, but then, went for vengeance in the end. If this didn't come at the tail end of the arc, it honestly could have worked.
It could, if it didn't feel so shoehorned in for the sake of being the tail end of the arc, blah blah blah. We
could have even had that as Ichigo's motivation for hesitating to fight Cardia like 30 episodes ago, instead of, oh, I'm afraid because I'm a pussy. No, have him say, I understand his point of view because I could have gone the same way. If my close friends were killed, I would have sought power for revenge.
Except Cardia also hates all the Bounts and all the Soul Reapers.
Yeah, Cardia thinks everyone is responsible. He thinks the Bounts are idiots for not living by themselves and ignoring everything. And he thinks the Soul Society are dicks for not leaving the Bounts alone. I mean, he's not entirely wrong. If the Bounts just stayed in hiding instead of trying to declare war on the Soul Society, they wouldn't have become endangered. So, yeah, Cardia's whole goal was to basically get all the Bounts killed and then detonate the Jokai Crest to kill all the Soul Reapers too. Because he wanted to be rid of all of it. But hey, you also...
he's kind of an asshole.
Yeah, he's a dick. You also could have had Uryu here, too, and had him and Ichigo have to work together, since Uryu and Cardia also relate to each other. Both come from tribes that were ostracized and persecuted by the Soul Society.
And it would have worked better because you were building up early on how they're an offset of Quincy's, hence the Reishi absorbing.
That's why I said Uryu and Ichigo could have worked together to fight him, because it also would have upped the stakes a bit from Ichigo fighting Byakuya one-on-one. As, I guess, the final boss of the last arc.
Yeah.
Oh well, at least Uryu got some good shots in before he lost his powers.
He's technically the reason Ichigo defeats him, I guess, because he bought time for the surprise knife.
Yep, and Ichigo unleashes a black Getsuga Tensho during this fight.
Yes, just this fight.
Yeah, because he's going on, my arm won't move. Move, damn it! And then his hollow voice on the inside goes, don't worry, it will. And he shoots a super black one.
Despite the fact that any Getsuga he's been doing in this arc, while in Bankai, has already been black. Oops, animators. Oops.
It's okay, alright? But yes, so Cardia gets hit by the BBC Getsuga, and... doesn't the fucking Maki Zanpakuto Toe show up again in this fight too?
I don't know.
Yeah, because Ichigo partway in was like, that looks like Nichigasami, a Chino-sei Zanpakuto.
Sure, Zanpakuto is a light of its own as well. Let's go with that.
Yeah, so what, was that Maki's final farewell? Like, oh, I'll get one more hit in on him. Cardia was a dick, and I no longer want to clean his royal penis.
Even if I loved it.
I now want Kenpachi's royal penis. What the hell? Anyway. So, Ichigo and Cardia's fight comes to a close, with Cardia dying in the end, and being grateful that Ichigo put an end to the never-ending nightmare he was in.
Yeah. And then the wrap-up episode's kinda weird.
Yep. Firstly, we got Kenpachi during the preview saying, I'll let Ichigo kill all the Bounts. That way he'll get stronger and we can have a real fucking...
Ichigo already left to the human world.
That son of a bitch! Yeah, so the wrap-up episode, of course, has to return the status quo from where the last arc ended. So, Ruki has to stay behind in Soul Society, though this time they claim it's because she's injured. Ichigo and the rest of friends are going back, because, you know, they got to go home, I guess. And Rontel is now living alone with Koga?
Yeah.
How are you alive?
A small shard of dark lives on in each of us.
Yoruichi even makes the comment saying before Squad 10 could retrieve his corpse, because yeah, we didn't mention that Hitsugaya respected Koga enough to say, retrieve what's left of the Bount to give him a proper burial. But yeah,
because he's Koga. You wouldn't have said that for any other Bount.
Yeah, could you imagine? Just swap the names out. Retrieve what's left of the Bount so we could give Yoshi's corpse a proper burial. Hitsugaya, I'm sorry, we're not following that order.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, so Yoruichi's like, I saved you before Squad 10 Soul Reapers could find you. How?
How are you alive? Where's that shard of dark you somehow still have? Oh well, not like it ever shows up again anyways.
Yeah, so Koga is grateful to Ichigo for defeating Cardia and saving him from himself, from making a huge mistake of blowing up the Seirei, because that's not cool. And Rontel says, live with me, Koga, because I want to hear the story of the last Bount.
It would be hilarious if a future filler ever used a Bount as an antag.
Yeah. And The arc ends with everyone back home, and it's nighttime in Karakura Town. As a new character arrives, voiced by Roger Craig Smith again, because of course it is.
This guy did... Oh man, we're gonna be talking about this guy.
So, the Bount arc as a whole. Honestly...
You also forgot before that, it was doing this whole thing with Rukia that delayed into episode 1.
Oh, you're talking about... Oh, yeah, it did! Yeah! Yeah, okay.
That just felt weird.
So yeah, they had a flashback of Renji first receiving notice he was going to be promoted to Lieutenant of Squad 6, and him saying, I'll tell Rukia when she gets back from her 1 month stay in the World of the Living. Which, yeah, if memory serves, I'll go back and check to make sure after it this time. When Renji shows up, Rukia does make a comment about him being a lieutenant now, and her being surprised by it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she did.
Again, I'll double check to make sure, because fucking knows I need to do that. But yeah.
Double, triple check.
So... yeah, the Bount arc. Honestly, a lot of people say this is one of, if not the worst filler in Shonen, and no not even close, in fact. In fact, I'd say it has moments that proves it's better than a lot of filler arcs. Koga especially.
Yeah. If it just cleaned up some of the writing as you go syndromes and removed the mod souls.
I don't think it could have cleaned those up, though, realistically, because they didn't know how much they were going to have to write in order for the manga to get ahead. So they were kind of damned if they did, damned if they didn't situation.
Just write enough to conclude the arc, and then, if need be, have a slice of life filler episodes while you're still catching up, and then decide if you want to do another.
I mean, 2 filler arcs back to back probably would have pissed people off.
We technically had that. We had this. We had the mod soul arc.
Okay, now the mod souls. Nova's okay. We'll leave him alone. And
he's actually does stuff.
Lirin doesn't start doing anything until the one fight where they take on Yoshi.
And she does it once.
Well, she is in her stuffed animal form, which they establish is pretty weak.
The only other time she uses her ability is during that really, really misplaced filler episode.
The one right after Yoshino died, then we just get that. It's like, whoa, tone shift, guys! Yeah.
And this arc just makes you be like, I miss Don Kanoji.
Did you know people call him Nicolas Cage?
Sure. Why the fuck not?
Anyway, yeah, so I don't know, if you don't want to drop the mod souls, then tweak them a lot, especially Kuroto and Lirin. Honestly, by the end of it, I was more annoyed with Kuroto than her. Because Lirin was starting to bitch that Kuroto wouldn't stop whining, and it was kind of accurate. Look what you did, Kuroto, you made me side with Lirin.
No, and then, just teleport them out of existence. No one will notice they're missing.
And then there's Yoshi. What a nothing fucking character. The other Bounts had potential if it were cultivated more, like Mabushi wanting to recycle or retain the Bounts' original thing, or code, and then being forced to go mad because Cardi is bullshit. Solitary.
If they would have followed up on that, it could have been. His fight could have gone better.
It's fine for what it is. Solitari's the same. If we got more indication of him wanting to betray Cardia, at least he had an interesting premise behind him. Or backstory.
We had more indication early on of Tony wanting to do that.
Yeah, Rio, again, he served a purpose also to showcase what the Bounts could do. Even the water Bounts, which were one-offs, had more than Yoshi at this point. Because they were doing the whole hubris of, they're above humans because they're Bount. At least that's something. Yoshi...
Even if they were horribly mismatched against Rukia's Kid...
Yeah, and just Ganju.
Although less so than Yoshi.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm sorry, but if you want your antags to look overwhelmingly strong, especially when they said they're in the Soul Society now, they are way more powerful. Don't have one of the first appearances of them in this new area where they're stronger be them jobbing to a character who has no real powers right now.
And was using a discarded Zanpakuto to defend themselves that was stabbed into a wall.
So, yeah, cut down the Mod Soul arc, and maybe, if you have to have them, just have Urahara show up with them at the beginning of the Bount arc saying, they're Mod Souls I made with Bount sensors. There, 5 episodes cut down.
Or just omit them completely, because they were made irrelevant again with the actual just Bount sensor.
Well, yeah, it was just done for comedic effect, and then they dropped that. But yeah, then you could also cut out that stupid filler that was misplaced in the middle of this filler arc. That will happen right after Yoshino died. And you could also cut out all of Yoshi. If you cut out all of Yoshi, you'll probably erase a collective 3 or 4 more episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that one episode where Ichigo is emo for losing. So yeah,
he's not even really acting emo. Everyone's just saying he is, and it's just really dumb.
There, you basically cut this down 11 episodes.
Yeah. Or to make up for the lack of episodes, how about do more with Maki and make him not a fucking bitch?
I think the point was for him to be a bitch, but they went in too much for it. Have him rely on Cardia to the point of it being absurd, where it's like, I don't want to do anything unless he tells me to, but do it in a way that pushes the line slightly, just not to where he's at now. Because my god, it got to the point where all of his dialogue was just Master Cardia.
Yes, Master Cardia. I will polish it tonight.
But hey.
You mean like that?
Yeah. As far as the fights go, all of them were fine enough. It was obvious why those captains in particular were picked to get fights, because they're the only ones we've got a real feel for their abilities at this point.
I mean, 2 of the Ichigo fights in particular do work, especially with the upcoming arc, because they had him rely on the Hollow to take over momentarily.
Yeah. So, for those that probably skip this arc because it's filler, I'd say go back and give it another shot. Maybe you'll like it. Just start from episode 68 or even 69 and pretend the Mod Souls were just introduced by Urahara. Because that Mod Soul arc is pretty rough.
And have something to distract you when the Mod Souls are on the screen, because you'll need it with how much bitching they do.
Except Nova.
Yes, Nova's the only one who does anything useful, and they made the perfect choice to make him barely talk.
Yeah, and as we said before, you can't just skip this arc completely, because the Mod Souls are going to be in canon material coming up, I'm pretty sure.
How unfortunate.
So yes, the Bount arc. Could have been a hell of a lot worse. People, I do think, were exaggerating a lot on this. I mean, go watch the boat filler and Naruto Shippuden. Tell me which one's worse after that.
Always the boat filler with you.
You don't know. You weren't there. Alright.
I had to have a fucking filler guy next to me when watching Naruto. I shouldn't have to skip every other episode. That's just absurd.
Yeah. Also, I guess the last thing in closing, this arc does feel relevant and fits nicely into the timeline without feeling too intrusive, to the point where it's like, okay, I guess this could happen between Soul Society and the upcoming Aizen incident. And...
You mean Aizen is irrelevant?
What?
What? Come on, man, you're supposed to play dumb.
Yes.
You rehearse this.
Aizen's irrelevant, sure. And hey, the Bounce actually had a unique concept, and it did help slightly with world building of Bleach.
Even if they had a bit of problems if you ask too many questions, but you can't expect much when they had no idea how many episodes they were gonna make. You can't, however, blame them for the mod souls and shame them endlessly.
Yeah.
Except for Nova.
Then again, I think the reason I'm not annoyed by the mod souls as much as you is probably because, Jar Jar, man. Fucking Jar Jar.
Oh, you mean that Jar Jar? The Jar Jar who got his own entire episode in Clone Wars?
Yeah, that Jar Jar. Trust me, the mod souls are a walk in the park compared to that douche. Anyway, before we get to the next arc, which is the Ironclad arc, sadly, Bleach is on Netflix anymore. Well, the first 109 episodes are still there, but we're saying, like, from now on, we gotta use Hulu.
Yeah, and as we know, Hulu has traumatized you.
I'll tell that story next time with Hulu. But it's okay. Because before that, we got the first Bleach film to cover. Which I'm not sure is on any app. This is gonna be fun. Actually, have to dig out some physical shit to watch this. So yeah. Next time, join us for Bleach, Memories of Nobody, the first film. And yes, this film in particular is referenced a bit in the final arc of the manga, so it'll probably be mentioned in the final season of the anime.
That's right. These films that essentially just seem like just typical anime films are now canon.
That is, though, is actually, yeah, the Bleach films are decent, so we'll get to that next time.
Even if their subtitles do make them sound a bit edgy.
But hey, let us know what you thought of the Bount arc below. And join us next time for the first Bleach film. Thank you all so much for watching.
I will rate it. I've seen way worse.
Yeah.
Way worse canon material, even.
Yep. I know, you're gonna bring up your favorite copy Vegeta arc in Dragon Ball Super, aren't you?
No.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. That's not even canon, that's filler, but those 3 episodes, honestly, I feel are worse.
Those 3 episodes are arguably worse than the whole entire Bount arc.
Yeah, and I think it's actually, it might be worse than the Mod Soul arc, because the Mod Soul arc at least had moments that made me laugh a bit.
Yeah.
But alright.
At least had something go. The Mod Soul arc had kind of a concept going for it at the very beginning.
Yeah, and that whole thing with Orihime relating to Rukia and being jealous that Rukia still had her brother, they could have done something with that, it fleshed out more. But yeah, so this doesn't drag on anymore. We'll see you next time, guys, for Memories of Nobody. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube land, sadly obligated to say please like, guys, or comment, I don't know. Really appreciate it.
If you want to, or if you want some shameless plugs, or want to see someone rage, go watch our Wolfenstein Let's Play that's being uploaded.
You liked Youngbloods. He loved that game. It was his favorite.
No, this arc gets a 10 out of 10. Would watch again 50 times.
Okay, there's someone we can say is much worse than the Mod Souls, the main characters of the Youngbloods.
They're worse than literally anything.
I would rather live in a room, like literally live in the same home as Kuroto and Lirin for the rest of my life than be with the cast of Youngbloods for a single day. And I'll leave you guys with that. Anyways, till next time, guys. Thanks again for watching.